All right, welcome everyone tonight to the Core Racing League. This is our GT season number 6. This is the finale here, the 10th week at Sebring International Raceway. We got a 2-hour race here on tap tonight. So these guys, it's a double point, so there's still a few, what do we call them? Championships up for grabs here. So still got a couple things I got to do here, like bring up the point standings and whatnot. We will get to that here shortly. We got a few minutes left in here in qualifying, so let's go ahead and pull up and see. We got Tyler Kakeko here. We can watch him come through sunset. As you can see, this LMP's bouncing just a little bit here tonight as they go through sunset and head down here into turn 1. Let's run through some of these cameras here. Yep, there we go. We got him coming through turn 1 here. Then around the little kink into turn 3. You got turns 4 right there and 5. Then through the gurney bend here. And then we'll see him come down here to the hairpin. Ooh, voice cracked a little bit. Hairpin. Alright. And then as he comes around here, we'll catch him coming through Fangio here shortly. And then down into Cunningham. Before going through the tower turn over here. You can see him wrapping his way around over there. Nice little braking zone here. Car does like to get a little upset. Can't take too much. You see him coming around that exit there. You expect him to be a little wider, but I believe this is still an outlet for him and not an actual one. He's coming through Bishop's Bend there. Then we have Jen to be in here. And then going through the Le Mans curves here. And then the long, fast run all the way down here to sunset. As we will see, I don't know, this should be a lap here, unless he had to reset. Go in here, TV, watch him through sunset again here as he runs down the line. See if Barney waves a flag for him, nothing. And that will be a 150.059 for Tyler. As it looks like James here, see if he can improve on that 148.6 provisional pole here in LMP2. Down here you have Tim Ponzi currently holding down pole, half a second above Mason Smith in that safety or kind of McDonald's, you know, the warning car, we'll call it. You know, I don't know the Italian, but the German word might be Achung. So Ponzi putting in a new hot lap there with a 201.671. Checking in here on the weather real quick. Looks like it is 82 degrees outside. The track temp only 102. 52% humidity, 15-mile-an-hour winds. So nothing too crazy. Let's see. Let's check in here with Mason. He just got his done. Leaving Tim Thompson coming around through sunset here. It's being one of the last ones on track. Do a quick little... Well, there we go. Looks like the website may have been down for just a second. Hopefully what I'm about to do does not interfere with OBS at all. Gotta take a quick little snippet there. And go into... There we go. And while we're waiting here, I will transition over. We'll pull up our points where you can see it here. Currently showing Parks de la Cruz leaving the overall In LMP2, James Pierce 18 points behind him. Judging by qualifying, you know, this is one of those that if James wins and Parks comes in second or third, it may very well come down to who has a clean race and who does not here tonight. Tyler Kukeko in third back there, 122 points. I do not see, let's see, Thaddeus Marshall here, showing him 126 points. Only 4 points between Thad and Tyler. So, you know, the podium finish there for third is up for grabs. You know, 1 and 2 still battling. Obviously, platinum and gold will be Parks and James. In the silver division, that's where the real championship there that Thad cares about. He'll be winning the silver division, possibly over Tyler, or Tyler winning over Thad. I don't think mathematically that will put Powell Casca in it. I would have to ask David Tilford to be sure. Bronze division, looks like Bramble handily has it over Derek Booker. Over in GT3, Nick Nickerson is 10 points ahead of Mason Smith. And looking down through here, I'm not seeing Nick Nickerson in here tonight. So, you know, you got that. So Kelly Pointer, 83 points behind that silver division. So, looks like platinum and gold, you'll have Mason and Ponzi going at it. I'm guessing with Ponzi being 6 points behind Mason, a little bit of a championship rivalry there. And we will have to see how that turns out. So, as they have about 15 seconds here real quick before they start racking these cars up here. Not showing anyone on track. Not even showing them anywhere I can even look at currently. We will pull the points back off here after y'all got a good look at those. There we go. All right. Now we can close this down here and see. Waiting on, but not yet seeing that. All right. As these guys are gridding up, let's pull up our grid here. It looks like they're going to be doing a full caution lap here tonight. I still haven't figured out how to get this a little bit bigger for you guys, so I'm going to work on that here a little bit and see what we can't do here for next season. Pole for LMP2s will be James Pierce with a 148.684. Parks De La Cruz about 4/10 behind. Third place will be Thaddeus Marshall at 1 second back. Tyler Kukeko right there, you know, neck and neck with a, you know, 1.073 versus a 1.064 for Thaddeus Marshall. Powell Casca about 1.8 back. Bramble about 3 seconds back from that. Showing Derek Booker a little bit further back, and then Hector Collazo showing up there. So we have 8, I believe. Is that correct? Wyatt Smith not setting a time, so we'll pull up the. I want to play nice here. There we go. In first place in GT3 for pole, Tim Ponzi with that 201.678. Mason Smith managing to get within 3/10 there. Dave Tilford, another is 7/10 back off of Ponzi. Dominique Ford looks like 1.1 back. Beavius Uvasam with a very nice showing there in 5th with 1.4 seconds back. Craig Potter 1.7. Tim Thompson, I believe it looks like 2.7 back. John Crane, unfortunately, there we go, 3.9 back. Let's see who else we got here. James Molyneux will be the 9th car in the GT3, 6.8 seconds back. And yeah, I'm guessing we had a few of those frame drops during when I was trying to clip something, because it takes full screen control. Otherwise, looks like we should be doing pretty good here. Go back to our race view here. That way y'all can see that. I will pull up our track map, even though right now, but that way you can at least kind of see the spacing there between the GT3s and the LMP2s. So you can hear how low these cars are going over those bumps. So, with Hector Collazo being one of the few, and Derek Booker the few non-212 cars here, you can see all the LMP2s all kind of in their same thing. Does look like Wyatt Smith did make the race here tonight, so just not in quality lap there. Check back there. See Tim Ponzi in the newly minted paint job that he did for Sebring. Got Mason Smith there in the blue Ferrari. Dave Tilford, a little bit of a change-up in the Lamborghini. Oh, that was Dominic Ford in that purple and black Mercedes. Abiy Srivasan in, it looks like a Ferrari. So Abiy changing up a little bit from his normal Porsche. Tim Thompson in the Speed Monkeys Porsche. Craig Potter in the red and white Ferrari. Sorry, with these guys going back and forth a little bit. John Crane in that orange and gray camo daily driven exotic Lamborghini. And then James Molyneux in the American flag Porsche there, as we would check in with these guys coming here. Let's see if I can guess the correct turn. This should be... No, yep. There's Bishop. And then we can watch them coming through Jindabian. And it should be, from what I can tell, we'll probably, as they come around, see just the tail end of the GT3 field, looking like they've got about a 20-second gap currently between these guys. Yep. We can see our GT3 field coming through as well. Oh, there we go. We got Barry in the chat. Let's see. Extra luck for Ponzi tonight. Yep, I think the battle between Ponzi and Mason should be great. Also, Abiy and Tim and Craig should put on a pretty good showing. You know, we'll see how Dominique stacks up in this field. The man generally has a little better race pace than his qualifying pace. As we're going to go to TV1 here, as they are about to turn down here into Sunset Corner. And you can see, even at these slow speeds, how much these LMP2s will just kind of bounce here across the track. If that track temperature comes up, you know, much higher than 100, they will start shredding those front tires as they just get drug across through those bumps. And we are green flag racing. James hitting the loud pedal, but you can already see Thaddeus Marshall going to go 3 wide into turn 1 as getting past Parks. Little bump and run, it looks like there between the 37 of Tyler Kakeko. So that, oh, a little bit of contact out of the 21 there of Wyatt Smith. So a little bit of a battle forming here, as we will go down to the front here. Looks like Ponzi managed to get away. Yeah, then you have Ford, Mason, Tilford, Craig, and Abiy. Tim Thompson, John Crane, and Molyneux. And we will jump back over here. Watch how this battle is shaping up here. Looks like a little bit of action here between the 21 and the 37. Got the 18 right there on his back door as well. Kakeko into the corner on the inside, but he'll be on the outside here. Looks like the 21 just kind of doing a little bit of a crossover maneuver. Tyler can't not having the preferred line, can't swing it out as wide. Gonna drop back there behind the 18. Yeah, some good tight racing going on here, as that is a little bit of a battle has released Thaddeus Marshall to try to go hunt down Parks de la Cruz. And with these track temps, if it gets much warmer, you know, yeah, Thad might be able to close that gap down, but how long will the tire last before it is begging to be cooled down a little bit? As we go into Sunset here for the first time in anger, see the 21 and the 18, and you just see them bouncing across. 18 going a little wide there, going to try to get a run. Is he going to hang it around the outside here? He is going to hang it around the outside into one. You know, that exit gets awfully tight. He is into the grass a little bit, but keeps it straight. And down into turn number 3 through 4. Looks like a little bit of a spin out of Tyler Bramble in the back there. As we will check back into here, you can see Ponzi starting to open up a little bit of a gap on Dominique Ford and Mason Smith. Check back here, had a little bit of a crash at a drawing crane, supposedly according to SDK. See what happens here. Oh, catching the back of Tim Thompson there as he stops and looks like he is going to wait for Tim to get back going. Great sportsmanship. That's what we love to see here in court. As we will go back live here. Showing a pass here from a B on to getting past Craig. To go into one, taking that inside preferred line. Making that big arc, running it out wide, and yep, that's enough to hold down the position over Craig. Check back in here. So we can see on the map, James and Parks keeping it nice and close as teammates. Thad a little bit further back, then you have Hector and Wyatt Smith and Tyler Kakeko, as we have Derek Booker looking to make a move on Powell Casca. Casca again to take the inside, and looks like he's going to keep that one. Casca running just a little bit wide there, about kind of catching the wall. Looks like we got Chris watching from work. Looks like we got Miss Ponzi also cheering for her husband here, and Tyler Kakeko. I got a few people here in chat tonight. Appreciate your coming out. We will check in here. Still out to a decent lead here over Dominique. A 2:01.9 versus a 2:02.48. So Dave Tilford putting in a 2:03.1. So Dave looking to maybe make his way back up through this field a little bit and catch back up. Interesting seeing more Lamborghinis out here tonight than we have seen all season. But still, you get this nice little battle here between Thad, Hector, and Wyatt in LMP2. It's kind of settling down here a little bit. 2 hours. It's 180 minutes, plenty of time. Since these guys are running a 50% fuel, I believe they're going to be on track for about 6 fuel stops here tonight. The GT3s, yeah, they get a little bigger tank. I think they can push it on out to about 4 stops. You may see a 3 stop out of somebody if they're running an interesting strategy where they can try to save enough fuel. Parks, that lap, James Pierce putting in the fastest lap you can see has started to open that gap to Parks de la Cruz there. And then, as you can see in the back of that shot, where Thaddeus Marshall and company are. You can kind of watch right here. Looking like the 18. I'll have to go back to this camera here. Looks like the 18 was going to try to make a little bit of a maneuver there. In tight, close on the braking. The fixed setups, I know we had a little test session last night. The LMP2s, the gearing is not quite perfectly set up here for Sebring, so it's one of those you kind of got to pick whether you want to rev out real quick in first, or do you kind of hang on and just let it bog in second a little bit. Yeah, and as these tires warm up and wear out, you may have to change your overall strategy to see how it goes. That would be my phone beeping to let me know that it is apparently pre-practice 1 now in Australia for Formula 1. So when you watch this later, Carl, just know I'm here not watching Formula 1. Yeah, the one day a year that's ever possible to interfere on a Thursday night race. As Hector here, gonna try to look on the inside, maybe. Is he gonna go for the outside run? To try to pick up the inside into turn 1. A little bit of a draft. Is he gonna have anything for Thad? Thad gonna hang it around there. Gets a little bit better line, it looks like. Opens that gap back up. Check in with our GT3 guys here. Dominique and Mason Smith. 0.4 of a second between them. We'll go back here a little bit. B. Vishivasam putting in a good performance here in 5th. Only 2.5 seconds, 2.3 seconds off the back of Dave Tilford. So, a last lap. Let's see if we get some lap time data here. Yep, looks like Dave and a B are falling off the back of Mason just a little bit. You can see that last lap, Mason putting in a 2:02.1. Last lap, Ponzi putting in a 2:01.9. So, Ponzi's still a little faster, but that gap, that spread is not that big anymore. As Mason is looking ready to make a move here on Dominique. A little bit of a crossover attempt there. Mason going to keep on the back of that Merc, that big rear end of the Merc, giving plenty of draft to that Ferrari. And down here into the braking zone, Mason going to stick his nose on out, going to take him down in there into the hairpin. Nice exit here as they're going to drag race down. Is Dominique going to try to make a move into the next braking zone? Or is he going to be happy to try to push Mason along? Maybe the two of them working together to try to catch up to Ponzi. Now a 3.5 second gap to Tim Ponzi. There we go. A little bit would be good here. Temperature coolant, everything is good. Not seeing any more drop frames, so hopefully there won't be a problem tonight. Dominique going down the back straight, going to get a good sniff of air, as Chris would say, give me the big suck. And right on his back into Sunset. Going to come around. Ferrari looking a little more composed on the exit of Sunset there over those bumps than the Merc. You know, is that a mid-engine versus front-engine deal? Dominic using all of the road and then some, getting into that pit wall just a little. Going over the curb on exit a wee little bit. So I'm going to tell you that Dominique is not going to have a 0x race tonight. Checking back in up here. Oh, let's see here. Looks like we had some shenanigans going on here. What happened? They got both of these right here on Thaddeus Marshall. Looks like Wyatt Smith got around Thad here. And then kind of getting hemmed in. That's going to let Hector Palazzo by as well. We'll keep watching here before we get back live and see. It looks like Hector got around Wyatt as well. We're going to have to pull that one here. So down the straightaway, kind of an easy draft pass there for Hector Plaza. Let's get back alive here. We can see, so your top three in LMP being James Pierce, Parks de la Cruz, and Hector Collazo is about 15 minutes in, looking like your possible podium, but Wyatt Smith and Thaddeus Marshall and Tyler Kukeko are all within a second of each other. They are not running away, so you have 4 guys here that are going to be possibilities as LMP2s are starting to catch up to some of the GT3s. Looking down in here, you still have Mason starting to step away from Dominique Ford here, about to open up an almost 1 second gap. Last lap, looks like Mason just a tenth slower than Tim Ponzi in the lead. So as the race wears on and tire wears, you know, we may see a little bit of a change here when it comes to that battle between Mason and Ponzi. Look back through here. Checking in with Abi Visubasam, still holding down 5th. Looks like he has opened up an almost 9 second gap over 6th place Craig Potter. Yeah, being kind of, I guess if there's a home track, it's going to be this one for a B. Being one here in the Florida sun is nothing new. I know he went to the real race there last weekend, so maybe he scouted out a few of the corners and walked the track to gain up a little bit of time here. As you can see, James Pierce looking to get around the GT3, seeing it around the outside. We're going to cut back, and you can see Parks de la Cruz there coming back on the inside with all that extra downforce. And that is going to bring Parks right back to within a second of James. Like, possible issue for Tyler Bramble here. Might have to go back here a little bit and see. Oh, catches the grass a little bit, and oh, never a good one. Hood goes bye-bye. It's yard sale time. If you need some cheap Dallara parts, go speak with Tyler. Yeah, be a good wall hanger. Showing another off-track here for Dominique Ford. Yep, going a little wide there. Dominique, I know the Mercedes works at Bark River, but it's not the fastest thing there. I don't think going into the dirt in turn 1 is going to be helping you too much. As we have the 21 getting past a B now, and you have Thaddeus Marshall trying to make his way through as well. Yeah, beyond just being fast here in this multi-class racing, getting through the traffic can make a huge difference. As you see now, Tyler Kukeko is pulled up to the back almost of Thaddeus Marshall. Got it down to a 1 second gap that was 2 or 3 seconds not a short while ago. Let's see, who else can we check in with here? Check in with Tim Thompson here in the Speed Monkeys Porsche. Running in. Alright, SDK. Yes, 7th. Suspicious. So, something wasn't quite right there for a minute. James Molyneux running back here in 8th. John Crane, after his earlier incident, is currently running in 9th. Let's check in with Bramble, still in the pits here. See Wyatt Smith already coming in. Do I see? No. Looks like he is in the pits for, let's see. Let's see if we can get a better pit lane cam. There we go. TV1 should work pretty well. So, in the pit, 16 seconds. Looks like he took some fuel and maybe at least a tire or two. So, we'll have to see as these guys cycle through if we're going to see pits every 10 or 11 laps. As you can see, he must have a button map for the headlight flash, as he will be trying to quickly get around the 05 of Tim Thompson there. So, yeah, short pitting, generally not what you're going to see too much of here in a 2-hour endurance event. But we're going to take a little short break here, do a little love to hear it. And, yeah, we'll be back shortly. Alright, well, looks like a little bit of an issue there out of the 21 of Wyatt Smith. As we will see, looks like Wyatt and Hector taking a little bit shorter pit stops. I guess they were not taking tires because with 24 and 25 seconds for James and Parks, that's definitely going to be into the tire territory of changes. Checking into our Discord, yep, Nick, Mason made it, so we will respond real quick there. Nickerson getting held up for work reasons, you know, always an unfortunate thing. As that is Hector Collazo into the pits here. Do we have a little bit of a... Look at this here. Oh yeah, Wyatt getting onto the rumble strip there. That is what caused him to spin out earlier. Showing another accident here for Wyatt Smith. Turning down into one. Oh, wow. A little bit of a shaky. And, you know, if you need a tail, well, it reappeared, but I'm pretty sure that's oil. That's the first time I've seen oil leaks in iRacing. I guess along with our rain, we're getting some spilled fluids now. That's a new one on me. Have not seen that before. So that's kind of interesting to see. But if you need some back half parts, you might find some cheap ones there from Wyatt. Let's see. Oh, that is Hector Cole. Not showing me Hector here on track. Not sure if he disconnected or... Through SDK here to see. Hector came into the pits. I'm not seeing anything else before that, so the car looks okay from what I can tell. I'm not quite sure what happened there. See if he just pulls it in and hops out. Maybe some internet. Let's see. Give it about 10-15 seconds. See if he hits the road again, or if it just disappears. We can kind of fast forward the playback here. Yep. Hops out, didn't come back into the car. Here we go. You can see Thaddeus Marshall gonna try to take a look here, maybe on the 37 of Tyler Kakeko. People do not know to leave me alone. But sorry if you're hearing my phone go off. Hopefully NVIDIA broadcast is covering it. Check back in with the GT3s here. You can see Tim Ponzi here. And see Mason not that far behind. Still has Ponzi in sight right at about 4 seconds ahead of him. Dominique there, you can see him in the back of the shot, dropped to another 5 seconds back. Dave Tilford kind of 12 seconds back there. Now has Tyler Bramble working his way back through the GT3 field. But we have some of these guys in for some pit stops in GT3. Showing Tim Thompson there coming out of the pits. And Beavers of Awesome in the Alitalia. I probably butchered that, but you know. Should be a nice, pretty Italian paint job regardless there. Showing Tim Ponzi coming into the pits here. And that has put Mason Smith out in the lead. So Ponzi coming in after only 27 minutes out on track. Doing some math, that's definitely going to not let him get all the way to the end without at least a short pit there. Keep an eye here on Mason, because if he makes it one full lap, he will also still be short by a little bit. But an extra lap or two after a couple stints, you know, that's... I cannot remember the fuel burn off the top of my head, but I want to say it's nearing a gallon a lap. So if you do 3 stops at 3 gallons, you know, does that buy you 4 or 5 seconds on your final pit stop when they refill for the little short pit? We will have to keep an eye on that, though. All right. Let's see. Showing Craig Potter and one of the other Ferraris here still out on track. Has not made his pit stop yet. Dave Tilford in the Lamborghini has not made his pit stop yet. So that has pushed Tim Ponzi down to 3rd position after his pits, 18 seconds behind Mason. So, you know, pretty sure he'll come back out ahead, but the question is, can he make up any time here on Mason and just catch him with the possible advantage of 2 new tires, maybe? And that is Mason and John Crane into the pits at the same time. As Ponzi is going onto the back stretch here. You can see on the mini map that has Mason in the pits. As we can see, Ponzi about to come into sunset here. As I'm looking on the track map to see when Mason starts rolling out ahead. Mason still sitting still. Mason's starting to roll, but Ponzi will have him going into one. What is the gap? It was about 4 seconds before they went in. Ponzi got that too. It looks like about 5 seconds, or maybe a second gained in that pit phase for Ponzi. We'll have to see if Mason does any damage on whatever fresh things he took. About half a second of difference between the two of these guys on their pit lane times. Dave Tilford headed out of the pits as well, because there was about 12 seconds between Dave and Audi. Dave having a 22 second. Audi only in the pits for 20 seconds. A little fast pit stop on that Ferrari. Don't know if Avi's bribing the iRacing pit crew with a little something. Not sure what it would be. But I'm sure it would not be anything related to the Whittington brothers racing back in IMSA, the day they gave us a interesting nickname. Checking back here, John Crane in that DDE kind of digital camo paint job Lambo. As you can see, he has Dominique Ford behind him, but he is a lap down at this point. As the gap, Mason and Ponzi, looks like Ponzi is slowly still pulling that gap out. We'll have to see if that extra lap, and by the time we get to the end, another hour and a half left, if that's going to buy anything special for Mason. Is that going to be a Kevin Foster-esque strategy move on Mason's part that will give him the win tonight? 90 more minutes will tell us. Ponzi setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 2:01.778. We're having to take a little Sip of something to wet my whistle. Looks like tonight's going to be tonight's broadcast brought to you by Code Island. Oops, I may have knocked off a few things here. Got a nice blood orange Berliner Weisse. As raising my rig has kept things on the floor just out of reach. But checking back in, we have Derek Booker in 5th position. Yep, showing a little blinky out of our Canadian Tyler Kakeko there. Saw him plummeting through the ranks there for a minute, so hopefully we don't have any disconnection issues. Oh, Tyler getting a little sideways. Audi, come on. It's not time of the year to cut the grass just yet. You need to wait about another month and a half. I know you live in Florida and it's warm, but the grass isn't growing that high yet. See if we can see what caused Abi's issue here. So he comes down into the hairpin. And early on the throttle, it looks like. Ferrari wasn't quite ready for the power. Kept it off the wall, that's the important thing. But Ferrari does not make a lawnmower. Jump back in here. Let's see. Our gap now between Thaddeus Marshall and Tyler Kakeko is up to 3 seconds advantage for Thaddeus Marshall. Thaddeus taking a longer pit stop than Tyler. Only 18 seconds in the pits for Tyler. 24 seconds for Thad. This was the pass here on track. See what happened. Oh. Tyler just running a little wide. But I'm guessing that's just the burned up tires or hot tires versus the cold tires on Thaddeus Marshall there. Was there a slide? No wall contact. Stay here into one maybe. Nothing really, just looks like probably a tire pace difference really. There's going to be your big story between them there. You can see now that gap is up at 4 seconds. Almost headed towards 5. Looks like Thad getting a little better run out of the corner. Chicken, currently Parks de la Cruz leading. See if we can see what happened here to... Oh! Get back up a little bit. So James going to pass John Crane. Have to go back and watch that a little closer probably. Let's find a better camera angle on this one here. There we go. That's from the correct one. John giving James plenty of room. Does John get into... Oh. Looks like he's on the brakes, just not quite enough to slow down. And then John jumping in that DDE Lambo. Although it's going to look like that 238 machine. No real damage sustained, as James will have to get back around Parks de la Cruz. Let's see what else we have here. Looks like Derek Booker has managed to make his way around Powell Casca. Booker up 2 positions ahead of Bramble. Let's see, so Booker's here. Casca's there. Not seeing any issues for Powell here. Gonna look back through SDK real quick, but just really not seeing anything. Just maybe not Powell's not. Booker here to see. Yeah, looks like Booker just has a little bit more pace over that 221 of Powell Casca. Booker running the Nyan Cat paint scheme there. And it's Tyler Kakeko coming back down pit lane. Let's see if he's going to take tires this time. He's going to be our first LMP2 to be into the pits twice, with the exception of the no longer running Hector Collazo and Wyatt Smith. Yep, car is up, so Tyler definitely took tires. As Booker into the pits, Bramble into the pits. Thaddeus Marshall coming around this time. Looks like, you know, a little bit of some split strategies here out of the LMP2s. Oh, James Molyneux missing the front end of that thing. See if I can see what happened for Molyneux here. Let's see, when he came into the pits, he had a thing. Looks like an off track here for Molyneux. This might be what... Oh, Porsche! Sideways, left the front bumper. There's a 992 front bumper just out of the track. I'm sure you'll find a track official. Might make you a nice deal. Be a good garage hanger for you there. As you can see the little radiator up front of that Porsche. As James Pierce and Parks Dela Cruz are coming down pit lane here. See if there's any strategy difference. Thaddeus Marshall as well. Gonna make it into the pits. Yeah, second pit stop. They're just around 40 minutes now that they've made it into this race. So LMP2 is only getting about 20 minutes a race. You can see Parks, not Parks, sorry, James there. Got the tires spinning with the car in the air. Thad doing the same exact thing. So Parks dropping it down off of the jacks first. Getting about 2 second quicker pit stop than James Pierce. Thaddeus Marshall being right in the middle of those two. So Parks, don't know what you're paying the pit crew here tonight, but buying in a little bit. Thad, figure out how much Parks is paying or what he's paying in, and I think you'll find that extra second. As Tyler Kakeko done with his pits as well. 6.6 seconds back. So these guys are keeping it, you know, interesting. We still have, you know, an hour and 20 minutes left in this race for them to battle it out. You know, 6 seconds is not a ton of space. Got Powell Casca in the pits now. As Timothy Ponzi last pitted on lap 13 for him. So will now be... Oh. So he's 2 laps back. It'll be like 20 for them currently. So it looks like we got about 4 to 5 more laps before we will see our GT3s come in. I guess 4 now technically. Depends on whether you're counting the lap they're currently on or not. Oh, that's a nice little camera that I didn't have earlier. Be good for the finish line later. So I'm going to take a quick little break here for a second, rest my voice, and we'll be right back. Do another little love to hear it segment here. I have a little bit of an issue here. Dominant. The pits, what's going on here with it? Seeing anything come up. So I have to probably check in here for just a minute. Pop in with these guys here and see what's going on. Be right back.
The shocking turn of events.
What?
Tyler wins the overall.
No, he won't. Go Kiko won't.
He spun out in Le Mans and said, "Fuck."
Oh, that was bad. I thought it was you, Tyler. My bad.
He disconnected.
I thought he just left.
He wasn't in here to begin with, so who knows?
No, he was.
So,
Yeah, he's-
did you say something to Hector and Wyatt?
They just
Well,
freaking caused chaos and then left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a tow.
Is that announced? Alright, we gotta...
No, it's announced.
He has to do it over iRacing.
Announced. Speak up.
I don't have a mic
Oh.
set.
Well, I guess we're not doing that then.
Someone towed. Full course yellow.
Alright, hold on.
no!
Wow.
Damn it!
That took so long.
Oh my god! the
That
fuck
was
this
all-
gay shit?
Well, Bramble towed.
Yes. Where? Yeah, briefly. That was just the one time he called me there. We got a full course yellow now. Bramble.
Somebody called it earlier and they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't tell, or they didn't throw the flag.
Don't know.
Could have been.
Hey John, when we were talking about core rating, so if I finish ahead of some of the LMP2s, does that okay? You still have 2 to go. You said you got 6 tonight.
Alright. Yeah, looks like Dominique had some issues and had to tow. Well, he towed, but he was already in the pits. But I don't know if you can see on the screen there was a little bit of an issue out of Tyler Bramble. We'll pull that up here real quick. Coming here through this one, catches the curve, and yep, right into the wall. Another nose clip for sale. Looks like a tire or two. So he's going to tow and try to get that fast repair, and that brings out, since this is one of our longer events, that brings out the caution. Very rarely, seldomly seen here in core road events, a caution. So, showing an accident here at James and Tyler Kakeko, but I've got a feeling this is going to be them checking out for the safety car. Yeah, that's them checking out for the safety car. Letting the safety car pass there. So that's just tripping up on their speed. Showing a little bit of an off track here for a B. I guess he has forgotten how to drive slow as he's trying to catch up to the field here. So you should see plenty of these guys coming into the pits here. It's a little different. Don't know if Bramble has another fast repair left, or if he had it unchecked and it didn't take it. Ooh, that would be painful. We'll check in with Dave Tilford here. These guys are trying to catch back up to the field. And is that the 221 Powell Casca kind of just being held back there, but you know, to see if he can make some kind of pit lane strategy, because I'm assuming all these guys, it's about time for the GT3s to be coming in anyway. The LMP2s just came in, but I don't think anyone's going to pass up on the free pit opportunity here that this caution has provided. See if James Molyneux manages to catch his fast repair here. See if that Porsche will look a little better. Looks a little Beetle-ish with that shorter front clip there. Yep, there goes the fast repair front bumper back on that machine. As I've got a feeling it looks like everybody is going to be taking tires, with the exception of, I see one. Oh, that is Bramble. So it should not be a 5-minute tow. So unfortunately, I think Bramble is going to have some issues there. I'm going to pull Bramble here into the room and have a little talk with him. Tyler, this is John in the booth. A little issue with fast repair?
No, I already used the fast repair.
Ah. So, how bad's the wait for the required?
Required is 7 minutes. Optional is a minute.
Make something back out of that.
Well, I was already a lap behind 6th from my first incident where I touched the grass and lost my front and come in for. I used my fast repair. And then this one, I touched the grass again and looped it, hit the tire barrier, causing suspension damage.
Yeah, the LMPs really do not like the grass, so. Well, you know, there's still hope. At least you can come back and, you know, have some fun passing some GT3s. Try to make your way back in front of them.
Yes.
I'm not sure. You'd have to ask David if that how that affects core rating, because I can't remember if you beat a class above you, if that counts.
I don't know. He told me I had to get 49 to jump up to bronze in this race. I don't understand the formula, so let's see.
Maybe you can come back and have a little something for Derek or Powell. You never know.
True. I mean, this gives Powell a chance to catch back up from his pit mistake. And
oh, it was a pit mistake. I never could see what cost him so bad.
yeah, he said it was an unsafe pit entry.
Oh, those are always painful.
I'll be happy if I can get on the same lap as the GT3s.
It shouldn't be too bad. You're currently listed as being 53 seconds behind John Crane. It says you're 52 seconds behind Parks. So that's 4 laps.
Yep.
And it's showing Ponzi as being 5.5 minutes, so that's 2 laps-ish. 2 laps, with 3 laps maybe by the time the end of this rolls around.
Yep. The achievable goals. That's the whole plan.
Oh. We'll let you go talk with everybody, and hopefully we'll see you do a little better throughout the night. Just stay off the grass.
Yes, grass back.
Alright, well, congratulations on the championship, though, for bronze division in the LMP2s. I mean, at least you came in tonight with that one locked in.
True.
Alright, we're good talking with you. Alright, let's see. All these guys are pacing. Let's bring in Avi, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, hey John.
Hey. So I
here.
figured, you know, you're doing caution laps. You know, you should be able to keep it on track during caution laps. Be a good time to pull you in here.
Yeah, safe. for now.
So, yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, you're running fourth. Very good, good spot to be in there. Looks
yeah,
like,
for now. Yep.
Looks like Craig ducked back into the pits there. You think he's trying to maybe save one stop? Because it looks like y'all are a little shy of making it 30 minutes on the tank.
He might be. He's notorious for fuel saving and doing some amazing, unique fuel strategies. So I'm always kind of keeping an eye on where he is on the track and what kind of fuel strategy he's using. But I think I have the pace to kind of build up a lead if I needed to, and then you know, see where the chips fall.
Well, you know, there's only one Lamborghini in front of you for a podium.
Yeah. That Lamborghini is pretty quick, and even though I think David's not feeling that great, he's definitely keeping up with the leaders. So
You might want to just try to stay in that draft and see if you can't get him to drag you along. It looks like Mason and Ponzi though might be in their own league tonight.
yeah, every time I was with David for a little while, I had him in my sights, and I was overdriving my car trying to keep up with him, so I realized it was better to just kind of let him go as long as I was managing the lead in front of Potter behind me. But you know, this is my first time driving this car, and I'm learning very quickly how to drive this car. So I got a double file, I guess. 86 car. Who am I behind? There we go. Okay. I think I'm
Since
good.
we're about to go green, I'll let you go back and I'll drop you back in your room.
Thank you, John.
All right, we'll see you. All right. Yep, they're double file there. They're double file up front as they are coming around. And no, that is not Christopher Hamilton in the safety car. That is the actual safety car. Don't let Park's paint scheme fool you. As we will check back in here on this. And real quick, before we go back, I will do this. I know it says Series 6, but we're going to have to fuss at the promotional material. But this is the schedule here for next season for GT. We're looking at running the GTPs and the GT3s. Free series entry this time. Looks like we got Road America, Bathurst, Nürburgring on the schedule, Portimao. Yeah, so a bunch of good tracks. So take this back off here, and we'll bring that up later as we watch these guys go back to green here.
Green.
All right, Park's getting a good jump off. The hat's gonna look down the inside of James here. Is Park's gonna, or is James? Sorry, is that gonna make it stick on James? They are side by side into one, and Thad is going to settle in here behind James. Tyler Keiko there on the inside of Derek Booker, and Powell Casca here now on the back of Booker. Booker, oh, getting a little sideways there. Keeps it off the wall, spinning it around, and getting going again. Looks like he's got a little bit of time before the GT3s get there, so no harm, no foul. Cost him a position or so, but could have been a whole lot worse for Booker there. As now that has put Mason Smith on the back door of Tim Ponzi on this restart here. Ponzi, who had gotten out to about a 6 or 7 second lead, is going to have to try to make that all back up. But looky, there is a Beavis Uvasa up into the podium position of 3rd place there. Looks like he may have gotten around Dave Tilford. That real quick and see here how I'll be getting around as they go ahead and take off. Looks like Avi just caught Dave napping on the start there. It is what it is. Take them where you can get them, Avi. Now Tilford to 3rd place for the podium. He's going to have to get around that Ferrari. As you can see, the 39 back there. Tyler Bramble gotten the car repaired, so it looks all right so far. Not seeing a ton of damage remaining left on that guy. So, Audi, let's see, showing Bramble is to the lead. Let's see. He said he wanted to be back ahead of the GT3, so he'll have to make up 6 minutes and looks like about 15 seconds or so. So that's a margin that in the next hour, that would be 3 laps. It's possible. So get after it, Tyler, and see what you can do. Yes, Parks de la Cruz there, and James Pierce is now in. What happened? Second accident. See, going to catch one of these curves into this one. Oh, back into the Porsche cold tires. Keeps it off the wall though. See what happened here where Thaddeus Marshall passing James Pierce. James over pushing the corner. Slid out wide. That's going to allow both Thad and Tyler Kikeko around him. We'll go back live here. And you can see James starting to hunt down Tyler and Thad. The points battle between Thad and Tyler. We'll have to see how that's working out later. Oh no, showing an accident here for Powell Casca. Let's see. Oh. Slides off the track, comes back on. Looks like no harm, no foul. Keeps the position here over Derek Booker. A little bit of a gap still. James Pierce is still here on the back of Tyler and Thad. Checking back in here. A B still holding off David. So you got Ferrari in front of Lambo here. Sorry, Lambo in front of Ferrari. And then Ferrari in front of Lambo. As Dave Tilford is on the back door of a B Vishivasam here. Yes, Perry, it is getting a little crazy now. It should be a good finish. We got an hour to go. Yeah, at least we get a little bit of time here with these guys getting brought back together. But as you can see on the track map, they are already starting to spread back out a little bit again. Thad here running about 2 seconds behind Parks de la Cruz. Haven't really seen Parks set SDK is telling me Parks has no off tracks. Showing a little bit there out of Tyler Kikeko. Showing 8 off tracks for Tyler and only 1 for Thaddeus. So, you know, those 5 bonus points available for a 0x race. You know, I don't know if Thad's actually going to have the 0. SDK's off tracks are not always the same as iRacing, so will definitely be something to keep an eye on, you know, into this championship, because we're going to have to probably at least pull David in to get some sort of update on exactly who are our championship winners here before the night is out. But Tyler Kikeko is not letting James Pierce run away from him. Definitely staying on that back door. Craig Potter going back into the pits. See what this is. Is this looks like maybe a little bit of damage, possibly? Not quite sure what that was for. Let's get back in here to this battle between Dave Tilford and B. Vishivasam. Yeah, it really does appear that Ponzi and Smith are in the middle class. Although last lap, Ponzi opened that gap up by about 0.3 of a second. But last lap, Audi actually being faster than Tilford by 0.2. But some good racing going on here tonight. Have to keep that, and then you have Craig Potter back here about 37 seconds back, having to go do a couple pit stops. I don't know if there's a penalty possibly in one of those, or exactly what's going on. Yeah, Bramble, I told you he was about 6 minutes back. He's now got that gap to Ponzi down to 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So starting to make some headway in here after a few minutes. So we'll keep an eye there in your battle for first in GT3 between Tim Ponzi and Mason Smith. It's kind of sitting around that 6/10 gap. As you can see, it even looks like Avi is maybe opening the gap slightly there on Tilford, but Tilford getting a nice run out of the hairpin. Going to get a little closer here. But having a little aero wash through this section can really cost you. As you can see, yeah, that allows Avi to open that gap up a little bit. But it looks like Dave got a better exit there. So with that pit being right at the window, I have to wonder if maybe Dave's using Avi to save some fuel, doing a little lift and coast here and there, maybe to make it that extra lap needed to make it to the end on one less pit stop. Maybe Dave looking for the big picture thing to maybe try to pull a win out of this. With only 51 minutes left here in this session for this race, we're gonna have to see. You're gonna have to take the long way around and see how it pans out. But it doesn't look like Dave's ready to take any crazy lunges. You know, there's still almost an hour left here. I'm gonna crash out of Booker here. Let's see what happened. He'll be down into. Ooh, loses the back end there. Does him a little donut. Those rear tires are not going to be happy. As he will come back on. Showing an off track for Tyler here. Oh! Catches it, loses the front end, and has to tow to the pits. Unfortunately, guys, we do not have another caution available for Tyler Krikeko. That is going to put him down a good bit. And that might be all that Thaddeus Marshall needed for the points win to take away. Let's pull that back up here real quick. Look at that points thing here. Showing that, let's see, yep, but with only 4 points, that gap between Thad and Tyler from second to sixth would definitely be 4 points. So, Thad, I think you just won the championship, but I think you're going to have to stay clean the rest of the race. Don't make any stupid mistakes. As you can see here, this lap looks like B has opened that gap up to almost a second and a half over Dave Tilford. Let's see what kind of lap. Maybe Avi's getting used to driving that Ferrari. Maybe something just clicked. Avi with a 2:03.4 and Dave with a 2:04.6. I'm not showing any off track for Dave there. But definitely a respectable time out of Audi with a 2:03. Leader Ponzi doing a 2:01.89. Mason with a 2:01.99. So these guys up here, you can slowly see Ponzi starting to open that gap slowly. Two, you have Craig Potter back here, maybe trying some kind of crazy fuel strategy. You never know. Then back here you have, there's Bramble coming back through. Oh wait, that's not Bramble. That was Parks de la Cruz. Yeah, Parks, you're going to have to change up the paint jobs a little bit. I know you want them all to look like 212, but you got to do just enough, I can tell you, so without having to look for the sad toast on the rear fender. Tim Thompson. Ooh. That's going to be... James Pierce has made his way back around Thaddeus Marshall there. Dad getting held up behind Molyneux. They're letting James just catching the traffic at the right time. That's what that one is right there. But that has let Parks De La Cruz have a 3.3 second lead over James Pierce. Yeah, Parks really setting a foot wrong. Will be hard for him to catch. But Powell Casca is running here in 4th ahead of Derek Booker. Let's see, I guess Tyler is not on track. I'm guessing he's already burned that fast repair. So maybe not able to continue on yet, or had a long repair thing. If I see him in here. Looks like Mr. Krakeko has already left the building. Probably not in the world's greatest mood here after that. I can completely understand that. Let's see here. Yeah, Teller, if you're watching the broadcast, feel free to hop in the waiting room and we can finish calling this race together. But that gives a spot to Tyler Bramble, still on track. That puts him up to 14th overall. And in 6th now. So I know Bramble said he was looking for 49 core rating points to make it out of the bronze division and into the silver division, with getting ahead of Tyler and 2 others there. That might just help him out. Checking here in on Tim Thompson and that Speed Monkeys Porsche car, still looking clean, doing good laps, showing 4 off tracks for Tim. But as we know, you SDKs cannot be trusted when it comes to that. John Crane here in the DDE. Lamborghini. Only a second there ahead of Tim Thompson. We'll check back in. So earlier it was 350 to Ponzi. It's now 330. 0.1 to Ponzi from Tyler Bramble. So he is tracking right along to possibly close that down. Oh no. Just looks like we had a little bit of an issue with Audi. Oh, coming out of the hairpin. That's going to let Dave Tilford by him. Oh, Audi. You were doing so good. So, heartbreak, as Dylan McDonald would say.
Emotional damage.
And championship implications, not really for this one, but that is going to promote Dave Tilford up to your podium, last podium position of 3rd, as he is now, we have to go back live to see, 12 seconds already the gap from Mason to Tilford, but up here, oh, sorry, wrong way. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Might need to turn iRacing down just a little bit here. Getting some rather high noise level. as the Lambo versus Ferrari. Yeah, not quite the Ford versus Ferrari story we all expect. 5 degrees. So these guys are going to be enjoying that, getting a little bit of grip back. Showing Derek Booker coming down the pit lane here. Riding through, kind of missing the pit box, having to back up a little bit. So if Bramble is in, I'm guessing that we are getting on about time for another set of pit stops here for these LMP2s. But yes, this time Ponzi not able to check out from Mason Smith. Mason has made that Ferrari work out for him to good effect here recently in the past few weeks. Opening that gap up a little bit more this lap, but you can see Mason actually closing it down on exit. Just the different lines they're taking through there. Oh, I was about to say James Pierce taking the lead from Parks de la Cruz, but that's going to be due to the pits, and you'll see Parks drop his car first and get back out before James, more than likely. As that is your top 4 in the pits here. Powell, Casca, still ahead of Booker, showing that to be about a minute gap between these two. It'll update properly once Powell takes off and gets out of pit lane here. Joins the racing surface here. It looks like about a minute 13, so not too bad. Check back in here with Tyler Bramble. Well, he is in the pits. Check back here with Audi. 7.5 seconds with the mistake has cost Audi. We'll see if he can close back any more time here on Dave Telford. Last lap, lost about 3 tenths today. Probably just have to stay out of his head and see if he can't keep his head down and push forward. The 7.3 seconds is not an insurmountable goal, especially with 40 minutes left. Gonna do a little love to hear it skid again here. Give myself a second to rest my voice. As you can see here, now that we're back about a little over 35 minutes left to go in this race, you can see that once amazingly bright car of Ponzi. You can start seeing the rubber that's been kicked up and kind of stuck to the side. The car looks a little dirtier now. Haven't really been able to watch in a race do the whole rain thing from the broadcaster's perspective yet, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not the rain will wash that off later on. Through here, and you can see the gap of 7 seconds that is back to Audi, barely in the shot there. Well, it's now 8.9, so Dave Tilford is checked out a little bit, but still here in GT3, there is your gap between your leader, Tim Ponzi, and second place, Mason Smith. So now has Craig Potter here, is 35 seconds behind Abiy Vishwasan. Look at their last lap. Running pretty close, a 204.5 versus a 204.6. Tyler Bramble back here. Catching the wall a little bit there on the inside. Has the 221 behind him on Paolo Casca, but they are a few laps apart after Bramble's unfortunate contact with the wall and extensive pit time there. Checking in with our leader in GT3. Woo! Looks like Parks disappeared for a split second there. Dan Church saying, "Let's go, Pierce." There he is. To your leader, Parks de la Cruz. Just 8/10 back. Looking at their pit time, James taking an extra second over Parks. Wonder if that's an extra tire or two, possibly. Showing this is not what you were supposed to do. Avi has left the pit lane here, coming out 9 seconds behind fourth place Craig Potter. But Craig pitted on to see when Craig pits, or if Avi can pass him on track and make enough time up that the gambit is not worth it. As Tim Ponzi is into the pit road now, along with Mason. Can Mason short fuel the car possibly to come out ahead of Ponzi? Is this going to be a leader change made in the pits? No, they are. Mason having a little bit shorter pit time, but that is just going to put him on the back door of Ponzi as they leave the pits. Tim Ponzi, still your GT3 leader after that pit phase. But unlike the beginning where Mason got behind Dominique for a bit and had to clear him, which let Ponzi open that gap, Mason has pretty much put his foot down trying to stay within that 1 second gap, and he's going to be catching the draft off of Tim there, and he might just be all he needs to make it to the end. Checks back in here with James Pierce getting ever closer to his teammate Parks de la Cruz. Still showing no off tracks for Parks, so that rear fender you can see Kirby sitting on there. His this here. Let's go to the gear parts here and see if open nose of James here. Got to see if we can't spot the different racing lines between these two drivers. Both of them are really fast. James taking a little bit more curve, it looks like, as they come around here. Forgot to turn the iRacing down after I love to hear it. My apologies. They come up here on a big issue awesome. Will he make a difference? It's going to cost. You can see James, you know, that right there is close that gap down to under a second. As we go into sunset here, the track temp dropped down to 93 degrees. You can see the different line right there through sunset. This James just pushing a little bit wider there on exit. Getting ever closer to the back of his teammate Park Stella Cruz. There we go. It almost sounds like James is catching that wall every time. Has it now down to 2/10. All over the back. I wanted to say bumper, but I guess we're going to have to go with splitter, really. Not really much of a bump structure in these LMP2s here tonight. That has Craig Potter and Dave Tilford here on top of each other here on track. Potter on that counter strategy, as we will see the two cars in LMP2 going for the lead to pass these guys here. Last lap of E taking almost a second out of Craig Potter. We'll keep an eye on that. Give you an idea. There is Audi going into that same complex. See if Craig is able to a new fastest lap for Tim Ponzi at 201.3. So the temperature coming down. Looks like he is trying to turn the wick up. You can see he's got that gap up to just over a second now. You see these two guys come through sunset here. We'll check some lap times. A 204.1 for Craig Potter. Last lap for Beavis Avasimus. We will see him come up here. See what kind of time he clicks in. 209. Looks like Audi having a little bit of an off track here. Oh, going into sunset, losing the back end. Kept it off the wall though. That was the important part. Which would be why he was over there in the first place. Checking back in with Park Stella Cruz and James Pierce. And then you have third place Thaddeus Marshall. However, it looks like Craig Potter is able to keep up with Dave Tilford here. As we are past the halfway point. So any GT3s, I mean, at this point, I don't think Craig Potter has done 11 laps, so he will have to pit one more time. But he has also been down pit road 4 times compared to the 3 of the others. Check back in here with John Crane and Tim Thompson. These two guys, you know, ever since the caution, have been within 1 or 2 seconds of each other. As that is Craig Potter in so he will be able to go to the end. At this point, I believe. So we will have to see what the gap between Craig and Audi is after this pit stop. Audi 14 seconds off the back of Dave Tilford here. Going to be almost 0.8 of a mile, so that's 30 seconds back to Craig Potter. Showing pit lane time being about 53 seconds for these guys. So Avi's going to have to try to build that gap up to about... He's going to need to be about 38 to 40 seconds, I would imagine, to clear Craig when he comes out of the later pit stop here. Checking back in with Bramble after another little incident. Down now to 3 minutes and 20 seconds behind Tim Ponzi. And 9 minutes and 30 seconds behind Booker. Looking at the back, towards the back of this LMP2 field. 24 seconds between Booker and Casca. Powell and Thad is 23 seconds, and Thad is 16 seconds behind James, and James and Parks here are nose to tail, going right ahead. So get back in here at Ponzi and Mason, just a half a second between these two. So ever since that caution letting Mason catch back up to Ponzi, Mason has not let Tim run away with it. Fastest lap for Tim is a 2:01.32, and the fastest lap for Mason is a 2:01.35, so not much difference there. Booker back into the pits. Seems like he might have been burning a little bit more fuel than these other guys. Now that we are 23 minutes to the end, it's going to be close on the number of, on whether or not Booker would make it to the end on the, this being his last pit stop. That'll be his 5th of the night. Showing John Crane having a little off track in that sector there, as you will see the 39 of Bramble going around him. Yes, Dan, it is some pretty good racing between the top two in each class. However, Parks and James, it's these two are out here having fun with each other. That's what it is. Now, Ponzi and Mason, this is a straight up dogfight between these two. Both of these guys want to go for the championship. Parks kind of has that on lock, I believe, already. But between Ponzi and Mason is going to come down to points. Showing 4 off tracks apiece for Ponzi and Mason. So more than likely, out of them, no one's going to be getting the clean driver 5 points for a 0x. So let's look back up here at the points real quick. Pull that up and see exactly where these two were sitting. Showing 6 points difference between Mason and Ponzi. So Ponzi would need to win. Ponzi got pole, so that's going to give him a couple extra. And if Tim gets the clean, yeah, that's going to come down to that clean driver points on exactly how many X's these guys wind up with. So, you know, having a season come all the way down to the end, as we have about 20 minutes left, and it's all going to boil down to finishing and being clean. That's a good championship right there. Last season came down to, or just about came down to the last couple hundred yards, or at least last mile of Le Mans, with myself spinning it and having Kelly Porter about run me down there. So your top 4 here in the pits again. Back out, Parks de la Cruz coming out with almost a second. Thaddeus Marshall and Powell Casket in pit lane together. But Thad will make it out before Powell. We can see Bramble making his way back down to 3 minutes. Maybe not enough time to get ahead of all of the GT3s, but we'll check in here with a B again. Gotten that gap to Dave Telfer down to about 13 seconds now. So a B putting in some decent little laps here. Definitely opening up that gap now. 32 seconds to Craig Potter. So I have to wonder if Dave, you know, knowing that he's not going to be within sight of Mason and Ponzi, if he might be on a fuel-saving strategy to squeak out enough fuel to not make it to the end. These are all things that in the next 19 minutes we will find out. Back through here. James Molyneux in the pits again here. I'm guessing he is going to make his last stop now. As there's your gap for 1 and 2, 0.3 of a second. James right on the back bumper of Parks de la Cruz. And you can see R2. You've got both leaders scrapping for a battle through the GT3 field with each other. Yeah. Ponzi wants to try to hope that these LMPs will open up the gap between him and Mason. However, it doesn't look like it had very much effect at all in either one of these battles. Maybe even letting Parks open up that gap to James just a wee little bit. As with 17 minutes to go, you know, that not something you see too often, having your two class leaders battling each other while the other two are passing them. Showing Tim Thompson and John Crane in the pits now. They're going to be doing their final stops. So I'm going to bring Tim in here while he's in pit road. So Tim, not quite enough fuel left to make it to the end without a pit stop?
Yeah, it was five minutes short.
So I guess Abby, Dave, Ponzi, and Mason will all have to make another stop as well, you think?
I think so.
All right, we'll let you get done with your pit and get back in the ring.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you. All right, you know, pull some drivers in while they're sitting in pit lane, fueling their cars up. So yeah, that definitely looks to be the case there with, you know, Audi now. Oh no, Abi's gotten his pit stop finished, right? It says flat 47 where... Yep, he left the pit lane, so Audi did manage to come back out ahead of Craig Potter by 4 seconds there. So Audi putting in the laps he needed to. Dave Tilford not stopping yet. So definitely will be interesting to see if Tilford tries to make it to the end. Or see if Audi can put in some laps, and if Dave has to wind up pitting at the end, if he can make anything come back on him. Obviously, the last pit lane time only being 8.92 seconds. So that is going to be a fuel only. No tires, just gas and go. Check back in here with Parks Dela Cruz and James Pierce still running nose to tail, playing around with each other. Both of these guys from 212. It looks like your top 4 are all 212 tonight in LMP2. And we have, again here in GT3, Ponzi and Mason Smith about a half a second apart. You almost kind of feel like ever since that caution, this has just been a battle that is waiting for the last couple laps to really kick off. But with 15 minutes to go here, you know, has Mason managed to draft and save a bunch of tire and pulling some big brain moves out, or is this just Ponzi is fast and Mason is, you know, just fast enough to stay within that drag area to be sucked along and keep from dropping back. So, keeping an eye on it. Showing a little bit of an off track for Bramble here. What happened? They're going to lose the back end coming. Yep. Right there, but no harm, no foul. Kept it off the wall. As our leaders are going up to the lap car, the 05 of Tim Thompson. And not being passed by a GTP, but having to get around one of their GT3 brethren. See if Tim winds up being any amount of obstacle that might give Mason an end on this. As Tim honorably slows down and lets both of them on the inside on the preferred line. Great sportsmanship there by Tim Thompson. See Craig Potter there. Check back over here. Audi now down. Let's see. Last lap. I'll be putting in. Oh, let's see. What is this lap going to be out of the B? That is going to be a 202.83. So just a hundredth of a second off of Dave Tilford's last lap. So not really making any major headroads, but 40 seconds. It might be a little close. When Dave comes out of the pit lane there. Oh wait, no, excuse me. A 202.83 last lap for Abiy Vishwavasan. And a 203.7 out of Dave Tilford. So Abiy cutting about a second a lap out of Dave Tilford at this point. Check back in here on the Tim and Mason show. These two still going at it as Thaddeus Marshall will be looking to get around them. Not, you know, Thad having a 16-second buffer over Power Casca and 36 seconds to James. I've got a feeling Thad will wait till this straightaway to try to go around. Try not to be in the middle of this battle. You know, even in a faster LMP2, you do not want to get between class leaders when they're battling. You know, if somebody tries to push the braking zone a little too far, it's an easy way to be taken out. As these guys still going at it with 10 minutes to go here. And checking with Dave Tilbert here, who's got Derek Booker going around him into the hairpin here. You can hear the pops and bangs of that angry Italian V10. Ooh. A little pop, it just sounds so good. Audi got that gap down now to 40.1 seconds. Let's see here. If we go look at the lap times, you can kind of see, yep, the last 2 laps, 9/10 on one lap and 6/10 on another. So, closing the gap there, we'll have to keep an eye. See in the last 10 minutes if Dave is going to have to pit. There's a lot of fuel saving to be done with 40 seconds of time. You know, but I can only imagine that these two up front, Ponzi and Smith, you know, both of these guys, a last lap running into the 201 range, they are not saving fuel. And if they're running under the 202s, that means they probably do not have much fuel left at all. So now is the time we'll see, has Mason managed to save a load of fuel? Can he possibly take a gallon or 2 less to make it and jump Ponzi in the pits? Exactly which... Oh yeah, it does. It's right here. They're on lap 51.5. I'll be pitted here. 47, so... Now they 40. We'll be close. You can see Powell Kask on the 221 machine looking to get around both of these guys on the long backstretch. Going to use all the power of that LMP2 to clear them before sunset. In the car here with Dave Telford, see if we hear him clutching out or just letting up early. Doesn't look like he's short shifting. Might be lifting a little early there. Doesn't seem to be attempting to save a ton of fuel. So they will go around for another lap. You know, but if these top 3 have managed to save something, you know, depending on where James and Parks finish, where they are, if they will have to have 1 extra lap, could spell disaster. Showing this is how James got around Parks de la Cruz here. Just kind of going for the inside there. Kind of looks like Parks maybe just handed that one to him. Says, go on. Take your contact and I'll save it. Yeah, Barry, Ponzi's definitely hanging in there, I can tell you. Having Mason on your tail, I have cracked under that pressure more than one time. Hobby and Dave, they've managed to, that gap has leveled off right at that 40-second window there. I don't know if Dave Tilford is trying to just maintain that. Maybe that's the magic mark that when he comes into the pits he'll have to come back out with. second here. You can see James has gotten around Parks and decided to drop the hammer, as one might say. Up to a 1.5 second lead there. Showing Derek Booker coming back into the pits with only a couple, a little over 5 minutes left to go here. Right here from Tyler Bramble. Let's have to see what happened here. Touches the grass and the braking there. And an incident here out of Bramble. What happened? Oh, just goes wide in Sunset. I think he was trying to stay out of Ponzi and Mason's way, and unfortunately wound up paying a heavy price for that. Not what Bramble wanted to see here tonight, but he is, what is it, 21 laps ahead of Tyler Kakeko, Dominique, and Hector and Wyatt, so at least he won't lose anything else sitting in pit road until the end of this one. And you can see that gap there now up to 0.8 of a second, so Ponzi kind of laying the hammer down here. Back here, Dave Tilford, 3rd place in GT3. Still maintaining that 39 to 40 second gap over Aviva Shivasam. But now showing Ponzi and Mason in the pits here. This is going to be interesting as Mason managed to save some amount of fuel to have some strategy over Ponzi when it comes to exiting the pits. No, they exit at the same time. Mason 0.02 of a second slower in actual pit time. So these guys into the pits, put some fuel in, and back out on the road. As Dave Pilford here coming around Sunset, and we will see if he goes into the pits this time. Sounds like he's changing gear. Nope, he is staying out. So something to keep an eye on. As there's James Pierce is, or sorry, Parks Dela Cruz getting around our leaders here. But heck of a drive from a B tonight to be in 4th position here tonight. Thaddeus Marshall. We'll have to ask Dave Tilford after the race is over. Well, we'll have that in here, so we should know pretty quickly how the championship what works out. Matter of fact, I might just, when we hit the end of the race, mute it for just a minute and jump in the Discord with them and find out from David and some of these guys what the championship points look like. I know they've run a few scenarios in their head as to who is who and what is going on. As we have, let's see, 1 hour, 58 minutes, and about 20 seconds into this 2-hour race. Not long left. Have to see when the white flag comes out there. As you can see, Barney waving the white flag for James Pierce. This will be the last lap. And as we look for Dave Tilford here on the map, I think Tilford is going to make it. He only has to do one more lap past this. See if he is in major fuel saving territory. Tuck into the pits? No. Dave Tilford taking your white flag there. Ponzi and group, they will be around at this time. Let's see, they are there. 2:38. Yep. We'll definitely have that's not it. Watch. For the last time, James Pierce coming around the corner to take the win. Just about 3.9 seconds ahead of his teammate Parks Dela Cruz. And then next on track to take the checkered flag will be Derek Booker here, coming in 5th position. Let's see. Ponzi holding off Mason Smith for the win in GT3. So that's going to boil down to who's cleanest. Dave Tilford showing him having a 0x. Let me go pull the points back up here real quick. Not showing Tilford eligible for any of the championships. I think that's just going to be a point of pride for him in the clean driver standings, which he does enjoy, as he will take the checkered flag here as Aviv Shivasam coming around will be approximately 33 seconds back, taking the position back from Craig Potter, who was on that counter strategy to try to save a last-minute fuel stop. So Dave Tilford managing to make that race to the very end on 3 stops only. Fewest number of stops from anyone still running. Yeah, watch Avi come across the line. And Greg come across the line. Here, and then once they come across, I should be able to pull my results up here. As Craig Potter will be the last person to take the flag here tonight. There we go. Pulling our results up here. Or not. Results. There we go. Pulling our LMP2 results here. You have James Pierce taking the win. Parks Dela Cruz in 2nd. Thaddeus Marshall in 3rd. There we go. Yep, Thaddeus Marshall in 3rd. Powell Kaska in 4th. Derek Booker in 5th. Tyler Bramble in 6th. Tyler Kikeko in 7th. Hector Colazzo in 8th. Wyatt Smith in 9th. And then for your GT3s, it will be Tim Ponzi taking the win in GT3. Mason Smith in 2nd. Dave Tilford in 3rd. Aviv Shivasam in 4th. Craig Potter in 5th. Tim Thompson in 6th. John Crane in 7th. James Molyneux in 8th. And Dominique Ford in 9th. Let me try to find out a little bit about the championship, and we'll start bringing guys in here. I'm going to start pulling them in here. Dad, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
So after all that, you and Tyler running close together, unfortunately, looks like that being the end of Tyler's night. Does that give you the win in the championship there?
I believe that does give me the Silver Division Championship, and I think it moves me up to P3 overall as well.
Well, very nice, very nice. So congratulations for that. Looking tonight, only showing 2 off tracks in SDK was that the case, or did you manage a 0x? Because I know SDK is not the most accurate.
No, I did have 2x. I went off. I think it was just after the S's, after turn 1, and then I think after our tower turn. But I mean, 2x's. I needed to be ahead of him and keep the x's low, and I got the point for qualifying P3, so I did my job tonight.
Well, congratulations. You looking forward to next season?
I am, especially with the GTPs instead of the LMP2s.
All right. Anybody want to give a shout out to on that number 4 machine before we let you go celebrate?
You for broadcasting this long ass race, and Carl for putting on the races, and then the guys over at 212. Congrats to Parks and James tonight.
Yeah, they definitely. It almost looks like those two were just playing with each other up front.
Yeah, I was kind of
that
hoping.
battle.
I was kind of hoping they would have just used each other up and used more fuel, because I was good to go with like 10 minutes left in the race. So unfortunate that they saved enough, but good job on them.
Well, again, congratulations, and we hope hopefully we'll be seeing more of you next season.
All right, thank you.
All right. That was Thaddeus Marshall in third place in GT3. We're actually going to do a little round robin here. I'm going to drop and pull in Dave Tilford, the third place in GT3. Dave, this is John in the booth. You get a copy.
Yep, I gotcha.
So, one less pit stop than anyone else. How much
anyone
fuel
else?
were you having to save?
Even Potter and Audi?
Anyone else that finished. How about that?
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I was saving quite a bit.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, is he going to make it? It's going to depend on where, I mean, how close were you there at the end?
Real close. I had like less than 0.2 of a gallon.
Okay, so if James would have managed to snag one more lap, you would have been in trouble.
Yes. But I had the gap behind me too, so I think a splash and dash would have saved me third.
Yeah, Abby was right there. It seemed like you kind of let Abby come back to about 40 seconds and said, "All right, that's right where you need to be." Like you were kind of making that buffer.
I was committed to complete all-out fuel strategy, fuel saving. So I wasn't attempting to put any buffer in. I just knew I had it. So that if I was looking at with like 5 laps left, I was thinking, it just depends on when the leaders go across the line. But I knew at that point that I was going to have the gap to make it work either way. So I just committed to saving the fuel.
Well, congratulations on the podium tonight. Considering the competition, that's doing quite well in a stacked field.
Thank you. I mean, me getting on the podium just takes, Nick, Chris, Kelly, Dominic not really showing up. So, yeah, that's okay, though. I'll take it. I still had fun out there. And, it made it interesting. Kind of practicing, I guess, fuel saving for Sebring if we need it on Saturday.
Well, with the rain and everything on Saturday, it'll be interesting. If it rains what we think, I think from what I was talking to Jimmy and the LMP2s, we might get away with not making that final splash and dash, but a lot of that will depend on how long and how bad the rain is.
Yeah, yes, it will.
Are you looking forward to next season for GT?
Next season might be kind of on and off for me. I got some things I got going on Thursdays, but for the races where I'm able to participate, certainly looking forward to getting out there with the guys and throwing around the GT3 car still. Hoping we have quite a bit of participation next season. We have a good group of guys here and guys that are really willing to help each other and committed to fair racing and competitive racing. So I hope that's attractive to some more folks out there, and looking forward to getting back out on the track next season.
Well, again, congratulations on the podium tonight. And the real question though is, did you finish the points yet?
I did.
All right. Well, So I guess by the time I pull everyone else in, they'll know whether or not they made it. So.
I did as of about 2 seconds before you pulled me in.
Oh, so they're all sitting down there going, "Did I? Did I? Did I?"
Yeah, that's correct. So I will send you the points, and then you can pull people in and let them know.
Oh, well, that's brilliant. So thank you, David, and we do appreciate you doing our points for us. I know it's not an easy thing to get going.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm
Congratulations.
glad to do it, and yep, we looking forward to next season, and congrats to your champions that you'll hear from shortly.
All right, I'll see you.
See.
All right, so that was third place in GT3. So now we will pull in. How about second place, Parks de la Cruz here? Parks, this is John in the booth. You get a copy.
Hi, John.
So I think it's kind of obvious at this point that James did not manage to get 18 points on you tonight. So we know you're going to be the overall champion.
Yes, I believe so. Yes, I got 0x. He got something X. I think it's like 4 or something like that. So he lost some points there. And so I think the gap is like 8 points or something like that.
Well,
So
it was 18 coming into tonight.
yeah.
So pretty much you would have had to wreck out to let him take that one from you. But yeah.
And luckily, I did not. I'm very thankful for that.
you know, the Mr. Clean nickname that you've gotten over the years, you're going to get that 0x, and from a broadcaster standpoint, it looked like you and James were just playing around with each other up front.
Yeah, we weren't really doing anything. We were just driving with each other, and also because this like I mentioned last week, and probably every other week, these are really draggy setups, so it just doesn't make any good racing at all. But other than that,
you could tell that James's line through Sunset looked absolutely terrifying because it looked like all that car was doing was just straight up bouncing.
yes, and that's because it was you'd have to you'd get sent or not sent skate over those bumps at Sunset is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, congratulations on the P2 tonight and the overall win. Are you looking forward to next season?
That's unconfirmed at this point. I've been really enjoying just focusing on the weekend endurance races, the 6 hours, 2.5 hours, and also the special events coming up: Road America 500, Nürburgring 24, Le Mans. And so I'm hoping to spend some more time practicing. So I might only be doing a partial season entry at this point, which might be strange.
That would be not. You've been kind of a staple here for the past couple of seasons. So.
Yeah.
but if you did come, would it be GTP or GT3?
Oh, GTP definitely. I want to. I always will go for that car.
All right. Well, congratulations, and we will. Oh, let's see. I've got a little thing from here from David. Oh, I forgot to download. Okay. Oh, yep. So, okay, so that's that. Okay, that's what I need from him. Yep, you are the winner.
Yes. Oh, relief. This season was long, and I was fighting so much all the time against James. And I know that there was lots of bad luck for James, but I'm still very relieved to have won it. Ah.
You hate to quote Fast and the Furious, but it doesn't win if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Yeah.
But congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 35 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Always, of course, yes. James Pierce for just keeping me honest. I mean, he really always was there giving me a what is it? Someone to chase. And shout out to shout out to the guys in GT3. They are very respectful this season, which I'm very pleased about, and they all improved as well. And of course, lastly, shout out to 212 Racing.
All right. Well, congratulations, and hopefully we will catch you next season.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, moving around.
Uh,
All right. So that was our second place in LMP2 Parks de la Cruz. We will pull Mason Smith in here. Where is he? All right. Mason, this is John in the booth. You got a copy.
Yes, I do.
So, do you know who won yet? Have you done the math?
So it is unfortunate that that Tim has got the championship. Congrats to him. He worked really, really hard, and yeah, he's just been on fire and on the rise. So yeah, I finished in second by 6, and yeah, that's all she wrote. You know, with the championship at Sebring, I thought I could get it done, but you know, sometimes it lap traffic pays at an unfortunate time. But there's really nothing I could do, and if that's his intention to dive, that's fine. But yeah, it's too little, too late.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like after the caution, I kind of wondered because you kept that Ferrari right there behind the Lamborghini. I wonder if you were back there saving fuel, maybe to pull out a last minute specialty, kind of a Kevin Foster strategy. But guessing you weren't able to save anything.
Yeah, I honestly I should have, but like I didn't know when I should save or when I should like short fuel to overtake. You know, it happens. It happens all in the race. We don't know what we're going to do most of the time until we find out afterwards. So yeah. So now I know for next time, and it's hard to calculate when the overall class leaders are gonna overtake, and then it turns out like, oh, I didn't need an extra lap. You know, it's all the calculated stuff that comes into a race, and yeah. Uh, Again, congrats on Ponzi for the win. He well deserved it, and drove his butt off tonight.
Well, you didn't make it easy on him. That's that much is sure. You can hang your head high with that one.
Yeah, I can hang my head with that one.
So you looking forward to next season?
Always looking forward to a new season. You know, just switching it up. I do like that they're going back to GTP, more manufacturers in the class than the LMP2s, because I know the LMP2 guys are happy about that and the way that their setup was handled.
Yeah, I did a little test session last night, and I will say that compared to what I'm running in LMP2 for the 12 hour, oof, that was not the world's greatest setup.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one.
Well, I know Carl wants to do fixed setups because it levels the playing field, but sometimes when they're that bad, it just makes you second guess the theory.
Yeah, I agree.
So, will you be going up to GTP then for next season?
I still have time to think about it. But I might consider it because I do like driving GTP. They're very fast. Very fast. Some have
we know
nice.
You love for the downforce cars.
Yeah, but they're all downforce. So, but I think GTPs have a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations on second tonight and second in the overall points. Anybody want to give a shout out to on that number? Was it 6 or 8? Yeah, 6 machines.
Yeah, to family that always watches me and my races throughout the season, the core guys and then the admins, and to you in the broadcast too. Having a broadcast up for us every single night. And yeah.
We appreciate it, and we will let you go celebrate.
All right. Thank you.
We'll pull. You know what? We're gonna round robin right over to Tim Ponzi here. Or actually, no, we're gonna pull James in next. James
Peak
is John in the
wetness.
booth. You get a copy?
You
Caught
had to
you
bring me in when I
mid-sentence.
said peak wetness, bro.
You know, it's not the worst thing we have a sound clip from you for.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble with Jimmy for things that shouldn't be on the channel, but you know, putting in a nice performance there tonight, catching the win. Unfortunately, looks like he fell about 9 points shy of attempting to overtake Parks in the overall and the gold division.
Yeah, there's no chance I was catching him. It was more of a fun race. Another race in my head on that one because missed a couple races this season, which obviously put my drop points as 0. So kind of came into this one knowing that Parks had already wrapped it up. So just came in with an empty mind and to have fun.
I mean, it was 18 points. You cut it down to 9. I mean, all it would have taken was, one bad pass on a GT3 and, a couple of spots, and Parks would have been in trouble. But then again, it is Parks, and he doesn't mess up, ever.
Yeah, I would have had to have 0x, and he would have had to have at least 5, and he would have to have come third. So I kind of had a feeling that, yeah, there's not really it's Parks. There's not really going to have a chance like that.
Very true, but congratulations. Anyone you want to give a shout out to on that 238 machine before we let you go for the night and celebrate?
The Blue Moon I had, Belgian White. I endorsed that. It's a good one. Got me ready for the race after I found out it was 2 hours. Shout out to the Ruby music I was listening to for the entire race. And shout out to the direct drive for switching forces midway through the pit stops and going max force on me through T1. I now have an appreciation for real world.
Well, at least I didn't do it through sunset at 160 miles an hour when you turn in and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I was just glad I could hold on to the dang thing. But yeah, no, great job tonight for the broadcast and great job for the league. So that's always the one up there. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
You looking forward to next season? Gonna go back into the GTPs or?
Depending on if I'm able to do it, yeah, I definitely would rather be driving the GTPs than this thing. So, but no, I'll definitely be. If I'm still here, I'll definitely be looking forward to that one. Maybe even dropping back down to the GT3s and seeing what I can do there. But
it'll be interesting to see where everybody stacks up.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a little shuffle because a couple people are shipping around and changing out. So.
All right. Well, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
We're going to pull our winner, Timothy Ponzi, in here. Where is Tim? Tim, this is John in the booth. You get a copy.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to have a few things to tell you congratulations for, obviously. Taking the overall win in GT3 championship being the big one.
Nice.
And then also winning the race. So
well, thank you very much. Yeah, I worked, I was just tallying up about 24 and a half hours since last Thursday on Sebring. I worked really hard.
For use tomorrow, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I get to retire now, right? But to race with somebody like Mason and be able to run with him, I mean, he's one of the nicest guys around, and man, is he fast. So I'm pretty proud of that fact.
Literally spent an hour on track and in the pits, and then back on track, and then in the pits, and back on track, within a second of each other. Like,
oh yeah,
that's impressive. Like, that's something you don't see. That means that neither one of y'all made big enough mistakes to fall without us, outside that 1 second range for an hour of driving.
Yeah, I was
impressive.
Oh, that yellow. Oh, that I was so bummed about that yellow. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then I tried and I just wanted to break that 1 second gap to break that toe, and I had it there for a little bit, maybe a half a lap or a lap, and then he just drew right back in, and man, that dude's good. I mean, consistent. I was just watching lap times. We were just trading them back and forth.
The whole race, if you rewatch the broadcast, I was sitting there going, I wonder if Mason is saving fuel. I wonder if.
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah,
ducked in for that last stop, were you just sure you were going to see that Ferrari just keep going?
Well, I mean, besides white knuckling it, because I was on the edge the whole time. I mean, it was.
Just look at the lap times. You were low 201s for a 90-degree track on a fixed setup. That's moving.
And so I'm like, all right, well, he ain't going nowhere, and I'm pushing as hard as I can push, and then I'm like, oh, is he like just hanging back? Does he have more in a tank than I do? And it's starting to cross my mind. I'm like, oh man. And then that last lap, it was like he was right on me, and unfortunately, Derek kind of got in the way, and but I thought for sure he had more in a tank for me, and I just got lucky, to be honest with you. I seen Derek coming, and I kind of cut into the corner early to make sure he didn't come in on me, and yeah, that just gave me the big enough gap to pull it home. But whew, that was a long race.
Yeah, having Mason on your back for an hour, I'm pretty sure that means you can pretty much deal with any amount of pressure another driver puts on you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the thing, like, Mason was always back there. He was never, it's not like he was making dive passes every 5 seconds. It was just like, I'm here. I'm not leaving. I'm just here. And I know as a driver, that's not easy to deal with. So, congratulations for having the mental stamina to deal with that.
Thank you.
And, like I said, congratulations on the win. Anyone you give a shout out to on that number 46 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, the wife and the family, man. I mean, putting up with me being down here, spending all this time on the rig, getting ready for this race. It was nice of them just kind of let me go and do my thing. So, and I appreciate the broadcast and everything you did this year, man. You did a hell of a job. Yeah, all the guys we race with. I mean, Core is a great league, and I'm looking forward to being around for a while. So,
well,
appreciate everything.
We can get a few more people in for next season. Oh yeah, season finale 2 hours. We still had 18 guys show up, pretty much 9 in each class. So not a bad showing, but maybe we'll get about 40 for next season. Make it really interesting with tons of traffic.
Oh yeah.
But so next season, you thinking still sticking with GT3s or maybe venture?
I don't know. I might stick with GT3s. I don't know. I want to like the GTPs, but I don't know. We'll see. I still got to make up my mind.
Well, either way, hopefully we'll catch you next season, and congratulations.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Woohoo!
Good for you. All right, that was your winner in GT3 and overall championship winner, Tim Ponzi. We're going to go pull back up. Where did it disappear to? The schedule for next season. I said just ignore where it says season 6. There's a little thing we'll have to talk to Carl about. But we've got starting off on 4/11, so that's get a little over about 2 or 3 weeks until we start at Road America. Then we're going to head to Monza, Catalunya, Sebring, Red Bull Ring, and then Bathurst. Followed by the Nürburgring. I believe that will be the combined 24-hour layout there. Road Atlanta, Montreal, and Algarve, or Portimao, as most people know it. A little bit of a bike track. Should be a really interesting one to see. So again, congratulations everybody for doing this, and tune in and catch us this Sunday on Premiere, which will be coming from, considering I'm running that, I should probably know. Probably should have practiced, but let's see. This weekend is going to be the Gen 4's at Rockingham this Sunday. So that will be a lesson in throttle control and keeping it off the wall. But from everyone here at CRN, appreciate y'all tuning in, and we will catch you next GT season. So I'll get a little bit of a break, and y'all can get ready for the next season. Thanks.